Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? Because I'm throwing it down hard. Sonoma? Sonoma's the Bay Area?
I've never heard of a juicy raisin.
You should probably return it to the store if your raisins are juicy.
This is not.
This is still a grape. But also, just like if you're studying for the SATs or something,
Don't use this.
Don't use this. This isn't a good resource for anything, really.
Is it lick or kiss?
We had to kiss them, and maybe we should explain what we're talking about.
Welcome to Hella Foggy, a podcast about the Bay Area.
I'm Greg, and he's Wayne.
We're two Bay Area natives from both sides of the bay.
Our podcast gets a little ranty,
a little sentimental,
sometimes informative,
but mostly pointless.
Basically, it's just us trying to make sense of this weird place we love and call home.
So rip open and it's it.
And enjoy Hella Foggy.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Wayne, what's happening on this, our first episode?
Do we call it an inaugural episode?
Yes. That's good because it sounds important.
Or did we call it a pilot? Does that mean that there's a possibility that it doesn't go beyond?
Yes.
Okay, let's not say pilot.
There's a possibility that it will be canceled by us.
By us.
Because there's no one else to cancel it. What are we doing, Wayne? What are we even talking about?
The fact that we're both Bay Area natives. I think there's something about having lived in the San Francisco Bay Area for both of us, I would say together, probably close to 100 years. Let's just say that without saying any age.
I think it's 10,000 years. Yes, and we both spent our formative years in San Francisco, which seems like, or in the Bay Area, I should say, which seems like a rare thing, right?
Probably. I mean, I think, you and I have worked in our respective industries for this long, and we've come across a lot of people that aren't from here. So, so it's kind of neat that you and I sort of found each other and have a lot of things in common, experiences.
Yeah. But we grew up in not opposite ends, but we didn't grow up next to each other. So I think our experiences are different enough. So part of why I think this podcast will be interesting is figuring out what we do share in common and things that, like, if you tell me something and I think it's bizarre because you grew up in some boony somewhere, that's interesting for our audience.
One of the things that I've, we've known each other for 27 years now?
Yeah, something like
soon to be 28. But I love the fact that I can rail off just random things that I grew up knowing. Obviously, not everybody would know it, but you do. And this is fun.
Very briefly, what are some things that we have experienced that other people from outside the Bay might not have?
Stupid commercial jingles that would just be earworms for us growing up.
Right. And we talked about this a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And what was interesting was you didn't know what the Denevi camera jingle was.
That's true. You know what? That was new to me. I did not hear that one. Or I probably tuned it out.
Can I do it?
Go for it.
Dublin, Berkeley, San Lorenzo, Cupertino, San Jose, Denevi camera.
That's amazing. Is that like and we are not sponsored, by the way.
We're very much not sponsored by anybody.
But who was the jeweler that had
there was Gensler Lee.
There was that, but the one that had there's one near me actually.
K Jewelers? A kiss begins with K. I don't know. I don't think that's a Bay Area thing. I think that's a national.
That's a national. That's a great line.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hey, Wayne, what does a kiss begin with?
I believe it begins with K.
I think it begins with a podcast.
Let's give each other a little bit of an intro then. Let's start with you.
All right. My name's Greg. So where I grew up is Walnut Creek, and that's on the East Bay. So if you are thinking... So I grew up closer to Oakland, and that's a city that I think people would be familiar with. And I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and so I'm an old bastard. And then, Wayne, what about you?
Born in San Francisco, but moved down to what we call the Peninsula.
Oh, gosh.
In the late 70s. And I'm not as old as Greg, but I'm reaching old bastardhood. I guess you can say. I grew up in Millbrae, which is right by San Francisco International Airport.
Right.
And have spent most, if not all, my life in the Bay Area.
And when you say the Bay Area, Wayne, what do you mean?
Let's say, at least from where I grew up, which is the Peninsula, if you took your right hand and you looked at the back of your right hand, so your thumb would be the Peninsula, and the tip of the thumb is San Francisco. Like your thumbnail would be San Francisco, and then the rest of the thumb would be what we consider the Peninsula. And then when you get to the part that connects to the rest of your hand, that's the South Bay. The index finger would be the East Bay. If you took your left hand and sort of put your thumbs together in a sort of weird way, your left thumb would be, I guess, what we call Marin, right? Yeah. So that's how I see it.
Okay.
It's anything that's touching the San Francisco Bay, but it's not that. Apparently, it is the 9 counties of the Bay Area, which.
Well, it's funny, Wayne, because I have a list here. Yeah, amazing. I have it. Just one of the things I carry in my wallet is a list of the 9 counties of the Bay Area. So these are the 9 counties: San Francisco. Alameda is where Oakland is. Contra Costa, where I grew up and where I live right now. Santa Clara, San Mateo. And now this is controversial because those 5 are considered the core Bay Area counties. As we go north, are these really Bay Area counties?
Did you say Marin already?
I didn't. That's the thing. So the core 5 we've already covered. Now we're going north. Marin, Sonoma, Napa, Solano. Sonoma's the Bay Area? How is that the Bay Area?
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. So when we were doing some research, or at least when I did some research, I guess the 9 counties of the Bay Area means the 9 counties that touch the 3 bays of the Bay Area.
Right.
So I think the 5 that you mentioned, right, obviously are associated with San Francisco Bay, though I don't think Contra Costa touches San Francisco, does it?
It does. That's a good question. I want to say Richmond's right on the border of both.
Yeah, you're right.
I think. I don't know. Also, let's establish that we don't know what we're talking about. A lot of the charm of this podcast will be the fact that we really we don't do any research, and we're just trying to remember things, and we're old.
I do have a computer next to me. I just want to be very clear. I am Googling as we go.
Well, I don't want to lean on the computer. I think part of the charm is our humanity, Wayne.
All right. I won't cheat unless I have to.
All right.
Okay.
But also, just like if you're studying for the SATs or something,
don't use this.
Don't use this. This isn't a good resource for anything, really.
Don't quote us.
Right. Anyway, so Napa, Sonoma, Marin.
Yeah. Unless you're trying to get into USC on the crew team.
All right. Settle down.
Hey. But yeah, the San Francisco Bay, San Pablo Bay, and Suisun Bay are the 3 bays that I guess constitute the Bay Area as well.
Right.
Interesting, huh?
It is. It's super interesting. And it's
for us,
something that I bet people will talk about after they listen to this episode. But also, I think more about what this podcast is about. It's not about geography. It's about culture and stupid stuff that happened to us growing up here.
Yeah. If I were to ask you, like, what is your most favorite memory or most influential memory, maybe, of growing up in the Bay Area? What's your gut reaction, your knee-jerk reaction?
That's Bay Area oriented, huh?
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, because I have so many memories that happen in the Bay Area but aren't, like, associated with the Bay Area. You know what I mean?
How so?
Well, just like, I don't know, like going to see Star Wars. I saw it in the Bay Area, but I don't. And by the way, we're gonna have to do a Star Wars episode because Wayne has an issue in his life where he's addicted to Star Wars stuff. So that'll come to.
Yes. It played a big role in my life. I will admit that.
Okay, so since now we've opened the door to Wayne's thing,
Wayne's World.
Why don't you do memory of, let's make it about Star Wars, and what's a Bay Area memory about Star Wars that affected you or
Yeah,
is
no,
important to you?
I grew up going to watch big movies at the Cornet Theater in San Francisco on Geary, which
Right.
is one of those big, iconic, one screen theaters with the Art Deco. And, the
Yeah.
thing that I loved about that theater was after the previews, right? After all the trailers would play, the curtains would come down
Yeah.
again. Like there was this moment where you knew everything was over. All the preamble was over. And then right before the actual show of whatever you came to watch, the curtains would come back up, right? And reveal like the big fanfare, the 20th century fanfare and all that. So that was one of my favorite memories of going to watch movies in San Francisco. And I used to watch a lot of the Star Wars movies there. I believe I watched the first and third, which are Star Wars and Return of the Jedi. I believe I watched Empire somewhere else, in Presidio, maybe. Yeah, at a theater in the Presidio. I remember my father took me to that. But I also watched all the re-releases and then ultimately the prequels at the Coronet as well. Well, the first two prequels, because they closed ultimately right before the third prequel came out, unfortunately.
So Coronet,
but I do. Theater. Oh, absolutely beautiful theater. I mean, and Greg and I were working together right when the prequels were coming out. It was a day, right? That you guys basically left for work, and I took the day off. But I slept overnight to get a place in line for everybody. And you guys all showed up later on in the day, or in the morning, I guess, to watch episode 1.
That's awesome. That's a lovely memory.
That's a lovely memory. But that was not my memory, actually, that I would have said. Though those are great memories, I would have said the earthquake. I think the earthquake was probably
earthquake. I was taking a shower when it happened in 1989, right?
1989, yeah, October 17th of 1989, right before the Giants and A's were about to play the World Series. I remember I had the TV on and the radio on, and since the game had not started yet, I was still listening to This Afternoon radio show on KMEL radio. Rick Chase was his name. And so, yeah, the earthquake happened, and I was obviously shocked, a little scattered.
Yeah.
Did you get out of the shower? Okay. Did you finish your shower?
And here's the thing is, like, if you haven't experienced an earthquake, like normally an earthquake feels like, to me, it feels like if you're in a building, that the building's on rollers and it kind of scoots back and forth. And it's like kind of exciting, but it's not anything really once you're used to it. But this earthquake felt like a hand was reaching down and pulling up the house and dropping it over and over and over again. It was so violent and so freakishly kinetic that it was just, and like the shower I was in is at my mom's house. There were like tiles falling down and it was freaky.
Oh, wow. The showers started coming apart, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a junky house, but still, it was the first time that I was in an earthquake where it felt like this is something different than I've experienced before.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of those moments that if you grew up here and you lived up here during that time, you don't forget it. So many of the earthquakes that happen now, if you have to ask, did you feel it? And if it were like a 50-50 result in terms of, yes, I did, or no, I didn't feel it, it's not big enough. This one was huge. Yeah. So that was my most influential, I think, growing up in the Bay Area. That was monumental.
Yeah. No, it was, and it affected. I remember the press conference afterwards, where who was the mayor in San Francisco? It was what's his name?
Was it Agnos back then? Or?
Yeah, it was Agnos, Art Agnos. Okay. Yeah. And then somebody like at the press conference, one of the reporters asked, "How is this going to affect the World Series?" And Agnos got really mad. It's like, what are you even talking about? We had a giant freaking earthquake. And you're talking about, it was very interesting to have an earthquake in the middle of the World Series.
Yeah, I will say that's probably why it gets brought up so many times, because there's footage of it happening during the World Series, right? As they were doing the intro to the World Series, it started happening and it started flickering out. And
Yeah,
I try to block it out because so another thing that we're going to talk about is sports allegiance. Greg has none.
I have none. I'm a nihilist when it comes to sports. But Wayne
and I do have my preferences. Yeah.
Beyond, you're not even a casual fan. You're like somebody that goes to games and stuff.
True. I do go to games. I do go less now. But yeah, it's a very geographic sort of allegiance, right? If you're on the west side of the bay, which means if you're in San Francisco Peninsula and probably Marin in the South Bay, you are probably more aligned with the Niners and Giants. If you're on the East Bay, you're more aligned with what used to be the Oakland A's and the Oakland Raiders. And now with basketball, I think basketball was the one that brought everybody together because we only had one basketball team, and that was the Golden State Warriors. And so now that they're no longer in Oakland and based out of San Francisco, I think it's the Bay's team.
And also, I would argue that like where I grew up, so in the East Bay, it was by household. You weren't automatically an A's fan. Feel like growing up half and half, and it was doing good. Like Baby. Like people were nuts when the Giants were doing awesome in the Hum Baby era. That was like 90 or something.
I still have my 80. I guess it would have been 87. Like mid 80s is when Roger Craig was our manager, and that was his catchphrase, "Hum Baby."
Yeah, and then Will Clark and all them.
Yeah, all those guys were coming up at that time and made that impact. But yeah, so there's sports is going to be a topic, and one of the things that I love to do is educate.
And I'll be listening mostly because really, like I said, I don't care. But I did have an Oakland Seals a sticker on my desk at home. That was the hockey. Yeah, I don't even think they were NHL. I think they were some expansion league.
So I am currently wearing a San Francisco. It's not the Seals. It's the Sea Lions. The San Francisco Sea Lions. Apparently, this was a Negro League baseball team that was based out of San Francisco at one point. And so the Giants do a really good job about honoring some of the previous teams that have played in the area. And so once a year, they'll bring out the San Francisco Sea Lions uniforms and play in those. The interesting thing is this is not a sea lion. This is a bear cub. That is a anatomically incorrect sea lion, by the way.
Beyond specially incorrect.
Because of lack of money, they didn't create their own uniforms or get their own uniforms made. They took a defunct team that had basically just, I guess, either ended or moved or whatever, and took their uniforms and went with that.
Oh, it's a cute bear.
It's a cute bear. Yeah. I just thought it was a strange looking sea lion the first time I saw it. I was trying to force myself to figure out and see the sea lion in the bear.
It's a wonderful story, Wayne. So some brief housekeeping, and it's going to be the unspoken rule, Wayne.
Yeah.
So never speak of this again. And audience members, don't contact us about this. We're not going to talk about it again. But we're going to reserve the right to talk about places that aren't in the Bay Area if they are somehow. Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? Because I'm throwing it down hard.
All right.
Like an earthquake. But yeah, so there's certain places that feel Bay Area, right? Or at least people from the Bay Area spend a lot of time in, like Santa Cruz. I said it as a Californian, Santa Cruz. And then Monterey, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Maybe Sacramento, in case you have to like go to the state capital. Lake Tahoe is a place where people go, I guess.
A lot of us go there, yeah. Absolutely. They make pilgrimages out there.
So it'll be contextual. It's not just going to come out of the blue that we're just going to start talking about Fresno or something, or Modesto. That would be weird. But if, as we're talking, it takes us to a place like Clovis, we're going to be brave enough to go there.
Absolutely.
We're not going to be shackled by the limits of our declared subject matter.
Geographic confinement.
We're brave podcasters. We're not like the other podcasts that don't talk about Clovis.
I almost had to go to Clovis at one point.
See, it's already happening. Why?
You brought it up.
Why did you have to go to Clovis?
I have 2 kids. I have 2 daughters. Both of them had played softball. When my daughter was playing, I believe, 14U, the end goal was to get to the Western Nationals, which is, a tournament that every sort of all-star team ends up playing at if they get to a certain level, a point, right? I believe that year that she was going to have to go there was the COVID year. So it never happened.
Right.
So, but yeah, that would have been my one opportunity to go to Clovis.
So if you're here for Clovis content, that's going to be it. You're not.
That might be the extent.
Yeah. Like Clovis is down, it's like San Joaquin or something. It's like by Fresno where they grow raisins. I don't know. You don't grow raisins, you dry raisins.
Sure. Yeah. I've never heard of a juicy raisin.
You should probably return it to the store if your raisins are juicy.
This is not.
This is still a grape. This isn't a sultana or anything. It's a grape and it's packaged as a raisin, and you should call a lawyer.
You know how there's really expensive scotch that has been, I guess, distilled down to like the last bits of goodness or whatever. That would be funny to make wine out of raisins.
Like
you really need to squeeze and stomp.
Artisan raisins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like sultanas.
Sultanas are the yellow raisins, right?
Yeah, it's disgusting. That's
those
gross.
were my preference growing up. Yeah, I preferred those growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know if I haven't eaten a raisin intentionally by itself for a while.
Stop bragging, Wayne. This show isn't about that.
I do prefer raisins in my cereal.
Yeah, so there was the post raisin bran and the Kellogg's was better because it was covered in sugar.
Kellogg's raisin bran. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, it was very sweet. So yeah, I mean this is the content, right? This is exactly the type
if you don't like this, get the heck out of here. Go listen to NPR or something, because we're not afraid to explore some pretty dark topics.
Sultana versus regular raisins.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about this, but why are we doing this? Just to give some context to why the 3 listeners that we have are actually sitting through this content.
Yeah, I think it's getting back to that idea of the Bay Area is so full of people from other places that sometimes it feels we risk losing that memory, those memories of growing up here. There's lovely people that come from all over the world to live in the Bay Area, and that's part of the charm of it.
Yeah.
But it's if you grew up somewhere else, start your own podcast about your dumb region. It's fun. Because this is our dumb region, and we have our memories, and it's fun to talk about. And also, I think if you're from out of our region and you're living here, maybe you'll get some context beyond like .com nonsense.
Yeah. And .com was a big thing, and we'll get into that. Greg and I sort of met during that era of the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
Actually, no, it's not that span. We met in the late 90s.
Very slowly we met over a decade.
It was a slow drip. We'll have to tell the story of how we met at some point. But yeah, the reason I really wanted to do this is Greg and I have amazing conversations all the time, and he recently just moved back to the Bay Area.
That's true.
I just love talking to Greg. I feel like we have a lot in common. We also have a lot not in common, and that's what is really interesting about learning about things is I get to bring up topics to him that he's never really explored, and vice versa. And this is gonna be fun. I appreciate, Greg, you wanting to go on this little journey with me, and hopefully we'll have a good time.
I'm sure we're going to have a great time. And our listeners are going to have an even better time because they don't even have to contribute. They can just sit there. Like
that
a
would
banana
be
slug in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Whether you lick them or not. Is it lick or kiss?
We had to kiss them. And maybe we should explain what we're talking about. 6th grade, and I don't know if this is a Bay Area thing, a California thing, maybe it's a national thing. We had 6th grade camp where you would leave school and go live in the woods and cabins for
a week.
Yeah. And so, and I think a lot of the places where people would go, like
well, it was in the Santa Cruz Mountains. I believe I went to the same one that you did. Every time we talk about it, it's like identical.
So in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and I guess other places around the Bay Area, but usually up in the higher, wetter climbs, there exists the banana slug, and it's this giant, it's like 8 inches long or something. And it's a slug.
I don't know if it's that big, is it?
They're pretty big.
Okay.
They're pretty big. And so they look like Laffy Taffy. Like the intensity of that color, it's beyond banana. It's like a bright yellow. And then Wayne and I figured out that we both experienced this thing where the counselors encouraged you to kiss or perhaps lick.
I hope it was kiss. Lick just sounds really inappropriate, if anything.
Yeah.
I did not do it. Did you do it?
Heck no.
Okay.
It's a banana slug. So and then I guess they would announce at lunch who
kissed
the banana or licked the banana slug that morning or whatever.
It was a hard pass for me. I believe there was one person during the week that I was there that had done it. UC Santa Cruz.
Yeah, they're the banana
mascot. They're the banana slugs. I guess there's enough of them down there that they would call their mascot the banana slugs.
Yeah, and they don't have teams at UC Santa Cruz. So the mascot is just whatever.
Ornamental?
Ornamental. They don't have grades or teams.
Was that always the case, though?
Yeah, it's kind of a groovy place.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty much our podcast in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's it. We hope it'll get better.
I know it's going to get better.
But I think it was pretty good, considering we've never done a podcast before.
It is a exploration of getting the right equipment, as well as finding, obviously, the time to do this, but well worth it to hang out with Greg a little longer.
You sound like I'm dying, but
I'm just happy that you're back.
I don't think we should edit. I think we should just send this out raw. I think this is perfect. Raw? Yeah, I just think the energy is fantastic.
Let's do it. Did we wrap up already? How do we wrap up?
So
yeah, what's the weather over in your neck of the woods right now?
You know what? It's hella foggy. It's actually hella foggy.
But yeah, hope everybody enjoyed the podcast. Like and subscribe, and we'll get some more content out to you soon.
Awesome.
All right, Greg.
Bye, Wayne.
Bye, Greggy. Talk to you later.
Bye.